Okay, so those have been glued up. We're back to you. We've got our picture frame.
Yeah.
Seems like the easy part. Now, how do we make it beautiful?
Well, yeah, or as I say, now for the important part, the trim. So I'm just gonna put a piece of plywood on the back.
What, do we got, 1/2 inch here?
This is 1/2 inch, which is nice. Again, you can do 1/4, but it doesn't give you much to nail the molding to.
Gotcha.
So I would probably put glue on that around there, but don't necessarily have to. And hopefully I've got some brads that are not gonna, oh boy, those look like 1¼ inch brads.
Gonna go through a little bit, you're gonna come at an angle.
I'm gonna try and put enough angle in. This is the great exciting part about live TV. All right, good, we got
it? All right.
It worked once. We may not put quite as many nails in as we normally would since we were trying to keep them from coming out.
In this situation, again, the tape didn't come out, a block didn't come out. You're not really care with how far it is from this. We don't see any of this.
No, just as long as it's covering some. One thing that would be important if I was like turning a corner or something, I need to make sure I cut this back from the edge, not only enough for the piece of plywood, but also the frame. So in this instance, it'd be 3/4 plus 1/2 inch. So this would have had to be 1¼ inch back if I was turning a corner.
Gotcha, okay.
I've got to keep pressing my luck here.
Keep going, brother. I know you can do it.
Oh, man.
We are going to be taking questions from the live audience. We're also going to be taking questions from anyone who's following along digitally. There's a comment section for us. You can write those. We will get it to someone who will ask the questions. And of course, you folks in the audience will get to your questions as well. About halfway through, we're going to save about 5 minutes for questions, so we're in pretty good stead right here.
Okay, so now we flip it over.
So now this is what we're looking at right here.
Yes.
We're getting there, right? We're starting to see it.
And, you know, the Festool machine does a great job of aligning the faces, but generally you're going to have just some tiny, tiny bit of sanding because I want to be able to close my eyes and not feel anything at that joint. And can you feel the joint?
No.
I was hoping you were going to say that. Because when you put the paint on, if you do a good job painting, you know, it's going to show up. If you can feel it, it's going to show up.
So I got nothing there, right? As you say.
Yeah, hopefully nothing.
Got it. Okay.
Otherwise, we need to go back. So, you know, the next step is going to be to put the molding inside there. And again, of course, I just absolutely love molding. The molding is captive inside the frame, so one of the things that I do to help ensure that I get a better joint is I'll just take now, I use a block plane, but you could even use a utility knife or whatever to bevel these under a little bit.
So when you say bevel under, what are you trying to accomplish there?
Just give it a slight bit of bevel under without, we don't want to touch the face.
Yep.
We want to come under.
So as we look at it, this angle right here, from this top line underneath, you want to come in at that angle.
Yes.
So that you get something where only this top leading edge is touching.
That's the secret to all of trim work. The only part that matters is the part you see.
All right, there you go. I love it.
And I could do this, with say utility knife or whatever. I don't know which direction these. So when I put this in, it's really critical that it be snug to tight. If it has movement back and forth, I just need to go get another piece.
And what are you shooting it in with?
I'm using a 23 gauge headless pinner, which is really nice because it leaves a very small hole. Painters love these.
Yep.
So I'm just going to grab, that's the opposite piece.
What are you using for a plane there, Gary?
So this is a Veritas. It is a low profile, low angle block plane. And that's the secret. If you want to use a plane, don't expect to buy one for like 15 or 20 bucks and get good results.
Right.
Probably 80 to 100 bucks. But it's kind of the investment of a lifetime, really, because that's going to make me a much better carpenter.
Got it. Okay.
I'll try and see if I can get these in here real quick. I already do that side. Great. Now, in the interest of truth and fairness, they don't always go in quite that easy. But there are tricks, and I may have to show one of those tricks here in a second, that we can do to make that fit. Okay, well, I say they don't always go in quite that easy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I might even pin that back. The great thing about a headless pinner is, of course, the one time I said this, I split something, but you can put a headless pin almost anywhere and it won't split the trim.
And so your trick there is what you were doing is you were actually pinning one piece to the other, hopefully keeping that miter tight and closed.
And sometimes people ask, well, do you need to put glue in there? But what I've found, there's a whole lot better chance that that glue is going to come out somewhere where I don't want it. And because it's captive inside that frame, there's really not much use.
All right, that's good.
See if I can hit this one real quick.
Back bevel them just a tiny bit for us there.
Yep. It's one of the things I really appreciate about these moldings is they're so dimensionally true and so stable. Okay, so now I may get to show you that little bit of a trick. I'm going to take a little bit off the back of this with the block plane. It's going to let this move over in that way. And it's basically like shortening the piece a little bit.
Instead of shortening the length.
Yeah. I'm going to bevel it under, now. Just a touch more.
So everyone's first instinct is now to go back to the chop saw, the miter box, and take some length off. Why not do that?
Well, I purposefully made these a little bit tight.
Yep.
So really to get the profile to line up,
Dang.
I needed to take a little bit off of that.
Yep. And what are my chances of success? If I took that piece over to the chop saw and I want to take off a 16th or less, what are my chances of success of not ruining
Well,
this?
that would depend on what miter saw you're using and what
okay.
blade. Festool makes an amazing miter saw that makes a great cut. Actually, one of the tricks that we'll do sometimes, if you lower that blade down, bring your piece of molding against the plate of the blade, then raise the saw up and go back down, it's going to take off just how much that carbide is sticking out past the plate. So you can take like a 32nd off successfully. Now you don't ram it into the side of the board, but you can take a little bit off.
So let's take a look at that.
And we probably should say, we made this bottom rail bigger because baseboard's going to be covering it.
Let's get your head to the other side. Not too bad, right?
I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And that's not a lot of steps.
It's not. And again, if this was 12 feet long, we had 4 of these panels, we still just made all the cuts the same. So that's the great part of it.